Hi guys. Okay, I'm gonna do the quickest breakdown of my tattoos if I possibly can. If you have any questions about them and want to know more about a certain tattoo, please comment and let me know, and I'll do kind of like a short little video about a couple more. Because I have so many, this video is going to be long. I'm gonna kind of bunch like a ton of them together, not explain all of them, things like that. So again, if you have any more questions about certain tattoos on my body, please feel free to contact me or comment below, and I will give you a little bit more in depth of what they mean and why they're there. Okay, so I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to go through pretty much this whole arm, which is super easy and to explain and kind of quick and done and out of the way. So I really loved all of these cartoons growing up, so I pretty much just wanted them on my arm. It's been a sleeve I've had planned for years, and it just took me that extra to actually do it and commit because of what I do with the charities and the events and things like that. Having a fully covered Wonder Woman in tattoos is a little bit hard. So I decided at some point last year that I'm no longer going to let that part control my life. If they want me to do events, I'll totally do them. I'll either find a costume to accommodate for the tattoos that I have or find a makeup to cover them. So that kind of throws that whole arm done except for two bits of it. But okay, so this little mushroom dude, this little girl, my Deathly Hallows, my You'll Float 2, my Mango, my Artemis on my foot, my Prince tattoo, and my two shoulder pieces as well as my rib. I think that's all of them, are all friendship tattoos. I have quite a few ladies that are special to me, and believe it or not, that's only with five ladies. Yeah, five ladies that I've actually committed that much to, that I have decided to get them inked on my body. These two are friendship phrases. My ribs are friendship phrase. We have matching Artemis and Luna on our feet. I have the one-up mushroom and she has the red mushroom. I have this little girl. The other one has the other little girl with the heart. We have matching Prince tattoos. We both have matching sailboats with You'll Float 2. And then the Deathly Hallows. We each have a Deathly Hallows but with our own house colors. So I think that runs through all of my friendship tattoos. Oh crap, and then there's one on my lower back, which is a hashtag. Yes, I have a hashtag tattoo, you guys. I know, I'm really cool. But anyways, so I think that's all of my friendship tattoos. Some of them I'll have to post in pictures because I'm not showing you because I can't. I'll have to strip and take it. It's awkward. Okay. So I already talked about this one. This one's going to get colored in soon, guys, so heads up. This one here was kind of just I want a really cool Batman sleeve is what I was going for. This is all that's been here for quite some time, so now it's a new idea coming, which I'll explain later. But I still love it to this day, and I'm not going to change this, but I'm going to change the idea of what I had just because I want to. This sugar skull, which is really hard to turn that way. This sugar skull was, again, just my mom was always like, don't get skulls, don't get daggers, don't get bloody things, don't get blah, blah, blah. Like, she was always on my case about things to get and not to get. So I decided to kind of like go outside of the box and take her suggestion and be like, I'm not getting a skull, I'm getting a sugar skull. So it's kind of like just I thought it was cute, I love it, I still love it today, and I put it on my body. Okay, I'm going to talk about the next so 1, 2, 3, so I have 5 tattoos that represent a terrible part of my life. I was in a really bad relationship for about 7 to 8 years. He ended up passing away. So I have a poem on my lower back. Yes, I know, don't get stuff for boyfriends or anything like that, and I still to this day stick to that. He passed away when I got this tattoo, and I got it not necessarily for him, but for me, kind of as it's real, it happened, I need a healing process. So it's kind of one of those things. And then I got on my wrists in French, it says freedom, beauty, truth, and love. At that point in my life, those were what I achieved. I really felt I didn't have that in my relationship. I was very controlled and abused, and it was terrible. But anyways, that's whatever. I don't need to go into that. But anyways, so I'd gotten these as a constant reminder that I could always look down and be like, okay, this is what you want out of life. Like, push for that. You need that in your life to feel like a person. So I got those there. So anyways, I also have a dragonfly on my back right thigh. Yeah, my back right thigh, that's a dragonfly, and at his funeral the house was chaos and people were super upset and everything, and then this dragonfly appeared and everybody forgot that they were upset and were now like happy. And so I kind of got that as a thing of being like, no matter what happens, there's always something in life that can make you happy. And so that's kind of my reasoning behind that one in a sense. I also have my left calf piece is also a dragonfly for the same reason. A year after his passing, in my flower beds, because I used to live in the country, I was raised in the country, I'm a country girl through and through. In my flower beds, I had a dragonfly actually show up on my favorite flower literally a year after he had passed away. And that to me was like, oh my gosh, like, remember, like, keep remembering that this is a thing that can happen, that, you know, even though something like terrible had happened in your life, a year later, it's like it was showing me to still remember to be happy instead of sitting on my emotions, which took me a long time to get through. So speaking of that, I'm going to go to my right calf piece, which is 3 moths, in my favorite color, I would say. I don't really have a favorite, but at the same time, I love reds and things like that. So I have 3 moths in some vinage, and that's to represent myself, my stepmom, and my mom, who had really picked me up and pushed me through my hard time. They meant the world to me, and they still do. So I put them there to represent that, to be like, even though I was in this shitty time frame and head and all this crap, they were able to kind of like make me better. So I'd gotten that to represent that. Talking about family, I'm gonna jump like freaking everywhere, you guys. Promise all the pictures will be up so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. On the back of my neck, I have a butterfly. Same type of reason. I always remembered being told that I was like nothing and small and all of this other thing, and I'm not going to achieve greatness, and if anybody knows me, I don't listen well to that. So I got a butterfly to represent my growth and the way that no matter who says what to me, I'm going to push past it and become something bigger, better, and in your face. So I got a butterfly on the back of my neck. Then my whole upper back, you guys, is a flower piece. It is, instead of doing a family tree with like tree branches and names and whatever, or the zodiac symbols or things like that, I actually got flowers that are zodiac flowers for people in my family that I truly love and care about. So my whole back's covered, which will eventually tie down into the poem I was telling you guys about. You know how in graveyards and stuff like moss grows over things and like they hide it but you never forget it? That's kind of why I have this poem for my ex that had passed on my back. So eventually when my healing process is done and I've decided to bring everything down, it'll still be covered but not forgotten. If that makes sense to you. May not, that's okay too. But that's kind of what my whole back is it's going to be a tree that continues on with flowers to represent people in my family. So nieces, nephews, parents, like grandparents, like all that stuff is kind of getting added into it. Okay. So behind my ears, I have bats on both sides. I love Halloween, so there's really no other explanation other than the fact that I've been obsessed with Halloween forever and a decade. My parents ran a haunted house, so it just kind of seemed fitting. What else do I have? So that's butterfly, bats, pretty much here. All of my arms. I think all my arms are done. Oh, in my ear, I have a crescent moon and a star, which I did get with my friend. There's no real meaning behind it. We just loved it and really wanted an ear tattoo because sometimes I'm cool like that and just get stuff. Speaking of which, my other finger tattoo is a bow. My friend's husband was apprenticing and she had done a couple of tattoos of mine. And she was like, he just needs some victims. I was like, sure. So I got a bow. Just random. There's no reason behind it. Okay, on my other ribs, I have a Death Star heart, but it's broken. That will be like all Star Warsy. It's going to add more, but that's what I have there. I really love that idea, so I just jumped in and went for it. Okay, so my upper, I have nothing here. Don't think you're missing out. There's nothing here. There's nothing like on any of my crotch area or my butt or any of that, so you're not missing out on any of that. My upper right thigh, I have Pokemon. These are super cute. I've loved Pokemon forever. I grew up with Pokemon, so they've always been a part of my life. Charmander and Mew are tight. Always been my starter Pokemon, so I have a Charmander and I have a Mew, and they're done in watercolor and more girly, so I got those. The back of my other thigh, I have a Death Moth, and the one after that I have the Dragonfly, which is the one that I was telling you guys about. But I have a Death Moth on my other side because I've always wanted to balance them out, but I didn't know what to do, so I decided to do a Death Moth. I love Death Moths, always have, so he kind of balances out my Dragonfly. On my right calf, I have a Freddy Krueger baby with like a soother in his mouth and a gem lunch kit in his hand. That is a tattoo with my friend. We're planning on getting all of the babies. Her sister used to be my nanny when I was growing up. We loved horror movies, we still do, so we're kind of getting horror babies, and then with lunch kits of all of our favorite shows from back in the day. So that's a starter to that. Also on that leg, on my inner calf, I have a pumpkin with a halo and 2 cupcakes. Those represent people in my life that I love because they're my cute little angels and my cupcakes. It's just random stuff, honestly. But I have 2 little people that I love that I've always said they're my little angels. They're not, they're little devils, but I always said that I'd get tattoos for them eventually, and so I just decided to get cupcakes. And then I have a nephew who is like my little devil. So on my other calf, on my left side inner calf, I have a pumpkin with the devil horns, and I have him there. So it's like my nieces are the angels and my nephew is the devil. It's hilarious. But anyways, so it's kind of like an inner meaning. There's no names on them, just little cupcakes. And on my left foot, I have my Luna. And she has her Artemis on her right, so that's a friendship tattoo. On my right foot, again, I have my nieces who drew Pokemon. So I have Cubone, Snorlax, and Pikachu. So they're always going to be there. I think that's it. I think that's it. I may have missed some because sometimes I forget how many I have. But I think that's it. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. Yes, it's really quick. It's really fast. I talk a lot. I talk fast. Again, if there's any questions or if you're interested in further depth stories of my ink, I don't mind sharing. So feel free to comment or question or any of that. But I think that's kind of like a generic run through of all of them. But thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you later. Remember to like and subscribe. Bye.